Woo!
Hello, everybody. We're here.
Hello. This is so fun. I love this going live thing, Becki. It's so fun to
I
gather with
know.
our friends out there, right?
It is. Most of the time, it's just the two of us, which is great, but the more the merrier.
Yes, it's so fun. Hi, Margie. Hi, I'm like the names are going. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Yvonne. Oh my gosh,
So
so
many
fun.
friends.
Hi, Lisa. Stamp Booker. This is great. Elisa, Cindy, Karen trying to grab everyone. Bridget, hello. Good to see you guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, I
Hello,
see.
Cindy.
I love looking at where everybody's from,
I know
Jana.
we're like all distracted reading.
No.
Like, pause. Hello,
Oh,
everyone. Welcome in. We have had the best couple of weeks since our last live, just getting everybody into the group, right, Becki?
yes. Jana and I are texting all the time. Oh my goodness, did you see this? This is so fun. And anyway, we're
Yes.
loving it.
It's like
Loving
the
it.
best party, gathering with all of our fun scrapbooking pals. Oh, we can't wait. We are so looking forward to this weekend. And we wanted to go live one more time before our crop. And we decided to do it in the group, like in the Let's Gather and Glue, just out to everyone because we didn't know if some people were still on the fence about it or hadn't heard about it or weren't quite sure what was going on since we kind of talked about, Let's Gather and Glue the group and release the crop at the same time. So it might be a little confusing, but they are not two separate things, but a little
Not
bit.
too separate, but a little separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just thought we'd visit with all of you today, answer your questions. We have a list of questions here, kind of review everything. Hello, Margaret. Hello, Melissa. So that's what we plan on doing today. So we're also going to be giving away another spot to the crop later on. So anyone who comments today will be entered in that little spinner at the end. So be sure to wait for that. But all right, Becki, what is Creative Kickstart Crop? We have let's actually review that. So here we have Let's Gather Glue. Let's
Yep.
Gather and Glue is our community. And we
Yep.
have the Let's Gather and Glue page on Facebook that is just open to everyone. You have to request to come just because we want to make sure we have all of our fun scrapbookers and not bots and things in there. But yes, we have our Facebook group for Let's Gather and Glue. And then our crops are separate from that. So our crops are a quarterly crop at this point, and our first one's this weekend, the Creative Kickstart crop. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And I know lots of you are planning on coming, which is so wonderful. I see so many familiar names. So this Saturday is our Creative Kickstart crop. We're kicking it off on Friday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And it's going to be a fun day of challenges, tons of inspiration, of course, community. And when Becki and I were talking about this crop, we wanted to do it a little bit differently than we normally see. I mean, it is a pretty unique thing to do an event around your stash, right? Which a lot of you are excited about. We're excited about, but it's a little different. There's not a kit to go from. There's, so it's like, okay, so how exactly does this happen? So we do
Yeah.
have,
What do we do?
yeah, what do we do? Where do we start? So when you purchase the crop, there is like a step-by-step do this that we send you in an email. It's also in the class platform as well as the Facebook group. So that's a great place to get started. But we have in essence the information for the crops in two places, on a Facebook group and a class platform. And they're the same information. They're organized a little bit differently. So, of course, the Facebook group is where you get to chat with everybody. If you're familiar with Facebook groups, and we'll talk more about that as we go. But if you don't want to be on Facebook, or if you like things organized in a very step by step, screen by screen way, then definitely log into your account at letsgatherandglue.com and you can go through the pages of that. So I think that's an important thing. But sorry, I'm talking a lot. But what I wanted to start is what I started to say was we wanted the challenges or to be like mini workshops, right, Becki?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we didn't want it to be just, here's some ideas. We wanted to work along with you. We wanted to show you processes. We wanted to show you the way we make decisions as designers to hopefully inspire you. And of course, you inspire us. I keep saying to
For
Becki,
sure.
yeah, I'm like, I know after we do all these challenges, like there's going to be 100 pages that I'm going to see them make that I'm going to want to make.
Yes. Just like the challenge we just wrapped up in the group. I scrolled through there and I was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to make that. That is so cool. I love how they did that.
Yes, I know. I was like, yeah, there were so many ideas. And that's the best part of the Let's Gather and Glue community is that we're sharing and sharing inspiration. So, yay, I'm glad you guys are excited about the guide, the PDF. That's wonderful to hear. Sorry, I'm pausing to read a little bit. Hopefully, Becki's been reading a little bit.
I
Melissa's
have
saying she has a large stash, so she needs this. You know what,
I
Melissa?
was going to say you're not alone,
You're
Melissa.
yeah, you're not alone. And
You're not
that's
alone.
yes, that's another goal of ours is to work through our stashes, our beloved stashes, right?
Yes.
Because when we use it, then we make room for more, right?
Yes, exactly. And we love all the things. We want
We
to use all the
do.
things and make all the things.
Yes, definitely. So when you buy those a spot to the crop, we're not leaving you alone. We actually have a full PDF to help you get started. And we're going to kind of walk through that a little bit today so that not give you like we'll give you a sneak peek of the PDF, but I'm going to have Becki tell you a little bit about it, and we're going to answer questions about it because this is a whole new concept, right? So there's been some questions like as people have gotten the PDF, they're seeing layouts that we made. They're like, oh, are these the layouts we're making on Saturday? They're not.
No,
We're doing totally different ones. So
no, because we have not made those layouts yet. So we can't show you photos because we are going to be creating right along with you.
exactly. So let's show them the PDF.
All right, let's do it.
Just a little
Hopefully
sneak
you guys
of it.
can see this is the PDF. I went to my local library and printed it out and put cute tabs on it, had it spiral bound. And you guys, I have to just give Jana a quick shout out because she outdid herself on this PDF. It is absolutely amazing. I think, is it 40, 48, 49 pages long? It goes through, it has everything. It has everything. It has the schedule. Let me flip. So here's our event schedule. There's a fun punch card. There's a supply list, step-by-step instructions for not the samples we're making in our classes, because obviously we haven't made those yet, but for sample layouts that we have made to teach you the concepts of what we're going to be working on. There are links to the cut files. There are some printables. There are some bonus content in the back that we'll talk about in just a little bit, but it is incredible. I'm just looking to see, are there any questions or comments about the PDF? Yes, Melissa says pretty tabs. They are. I was so excited. I was wandering the aisles of Walmart and they had these tabs and I was like, oh, those are perfect. They immediately came home with me.
As we all head to Walmart.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Yes. So in the PDF, like Becki mentioned, we have an outline of our schedule and each of the challenges. So for the event on Saturday, let's actually talk. I think maybe we should start with the schedule, Becki, because that might
Yeah.
give people an overview of what's coming. And I know those who are coming, you've seen the schedule, or if you've checked it out on the page, you've seen this. But I think as we walk through it a little bit, we might be able to answer some questions specifically. So, like I mentioned, it will kick off on Friday night. It's our little kickoff party. It will be about an hour long. Now we want to, of course, give you the lay of the land, but we have like a little mini workshop planned for Friday night.
We do.
Yeah. So those of you who do have the PDF, you'll see in the beginning of your PDF, there's a page planner. There's some creative kickstarts, which are some prompts to help you, just manage your time. Or every time people talk about scrapbooking and what they wish they had more of, it's time. And so that's why we wanted to name this crop Creative Kickstarts and talk about that in our Friday night kickoff party, is how to manage your time. Because I don't know, but I love hearing about other people's processes. I love getting tips from other people, because that's where I've gained all my knowledge of, like, oh my gosh, they have a system and I'm going to try that. you know?
Yes.
And of course, we each develop our own little systems that work for us and the way we flow, but it's so helpful to hear from others. It's because sometimes you can tweak what you're doing a little bit and just make the most of your time. So that's what we want to talk about on Friday.
Yes. Jana, we have a couple of questions before
Oh,
you move into Saturday.
perfect. Let's do it.
All right. Handcrafter Haven says, do you have suggestions for those participating who don't have means to utilize the cutouts? And I'm guessing she means the cut files.
Yes. Okay. Great question. So the page that you're talking about, where we use the large page, you could use. Of course, I created cut files. There's 8 different shapes and in the PDF, I show you a sample of the layout, and you can use all of those 8 shapes to recreate, not all at once, but any of those shapes to recreate that page. And I wanted you to have a variety of shapes, because sometimes we want a circle for whatever fill, or we want a hexagon. So there's different ones. So for those of you who are recreating that page, you could use like a bowl and cut a large circle, right? And just cut it out. And then if you happen to have patterned scissors, like a scallop, there's that border piece that goes around that opening. You could use some patterned scissors, or just leave that border piece off. You could stitch, you could oh gosh, I don't know. You could just cut another circle so it's just a ring around that. So this is where it's so fun for you guys, is we're creatives, right? This is where our ideas start forming, is if maybe I don't have a cutting machine. So I'm going to try to do it this way. And this is the great thing about the group and gathering together like this, is we can give each other ideas, because guess what? We didn't always have a cutting machine, right, Becki?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I used templates. I used a bowl. I still use a bowl.
I will still walk to my kitchen and get a bowl or a plate on occasion. I have to admit.
Yes, definitely. So, and in fact, some of my very first tools I ever had that aren't die cutting machines and fancy things, I never got rid of them, because I still use them. So that's a great question.
Yep.
Thank you.
And the circle cutter, I don't know if you mentioned the circle
Oh,
cutter.
I didn't. Thank you.
A circle cutter would be great. Also, I wanted can't remember if you touched on or not. This is not the layout that Jana's going to be creating live. This
Right.
is one that she created beforehand, just as inspiration. You can follow that, the steps in that layout if you would like, or you can just create with both of us on Saturday.
Yes. So for each of our challenges, we wanted to give you as many ideas as possible. So in PDF, we created a challenge ahead of time to get your creative juices flowing. And in fact, my PDF isn't printed super cute like Becki's, but on the top right corner of the page with the layout, there's this little green starburst. And if you open it up on your computer, it's actually clickable, and it will take you over to a process video where you can watch that layout being made. And there's a process video for each of those layouts in there. So that's the first set of inspiration that we've given you. On Saturday, for like my Get in Shape challenge, we're going to do a totally different technique. And the supplies for that are listed on the supply page. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in detail as we go through each challenge. But I'm so glad you brought that up, because I think that's been a little confusing, because this is all new, right? This is
Yep.
an all new concept to use your stash. And so, yes, we wanted to give you an idea ahead of time, but we wanted to show you another idea during the challenge.
Yep. We've got a couple more questions, Jana.
Okay.
One, someone says they're not available to attend on Friday night. Is everything going to be recorded? Yes, everything will be recorded. It will be linked on the website, in the Facebook group, and so you can watch whenever you're ready. So yes, everything is recorded.
Yes, definitely. Yep, it will all be recorded. Someone else asked, I don't know if it was beforehand in the Facebook group, will we have pictures of the projects that we create on Saturday? Yes. So obviously we can't take pictures of them ahead of time because we haven't made them yet. But after the crop, we will definitely post pictures for you. We'll put that in both the platform, probably the platform and the album in the Facebook group so that you can have photos of those. Let's see.
Yes.
I'm seeing a question from Melissa. Maybe this was what you just asked. I can't be there live. Can you explain how the experience will be different if I do the classes at a later date? Yes. Do you want me to take that one, Becki, or do you want to?
Go ahead. You can take that one. I'll take the
Okay.
next one. There's one more
Okay.
just after it.
All right, yeah, you scan for the next one. So if you're not going to be there live on Saturday, everything's recorded. You can watch it later. We've the goal for the whole crop and for Let's Gather and Glue is to help us use our supplies, help us record memories, and have fun together while we're doing it. So we have created albums for you to submit your layouts, and you can submit your layouts. This is kind of like a little I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Challenge incentive? I
Not
don't know for
challenge,
sure.
I don't know. Something I'm at a loss of words. Incentive to
Incentive.
get you creating, right? Like that's what I do. I have to incentivize myself to make stuff. And so that's what we hope the crop is for you, that it's getting you excited to create. So once you create your items, you can upload them to the album. So if you're not there live, you have 3 weeks to still create all those projects. You know, we realize that people have different levels of energy. You may not be able to create alongside of us, even if you are in attendance all day long, because we just get tired, right? But you will have 3 weeks to go through the challenges. And if you want to participate and upload those to the albums, you can. And then we will have a winners live stream on February 26th, where we actually give out prizes to everyone who participates. Not everyone, sorry, a random prize to each challenge from someone from each challenge who participates.
Yep.
So that's kind of our way of, making it fun and having you try new ideas and hopefully inspiring you to do different things.
Yes. All right. So next question is from Lisa, and she says, do we need to pull the same themed kits? No, absolutely not. Like for example, I know one of Jana's classes, she's doing camping themed. I don't have any camping themed pictures. So if I was playing along with Jana, I would just switch themes and work with whatever. It is whatever products you have in your crafting space and whatever photos you have that you want to document. You are not tied to any sort of theme whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, maybe in a little bit we'll kind of show you a picture. If for those of you who aren't in the group, we can show you those pages just so you can get an idea. People have asked, like, what supplies are you using in case I have them too, and then I want to create alongside you. But we are doing ideas and techniques that can be applied to any theme. We wanted to make sure it was something that you could translate to whatever you own. So the next question I'm seeing, are you using sketches for the pages you create on Saturday? And will these be posted? So we don't have sketches for the different challenges because we'll be showing techniques and the design as we work. We definitely have an idea of what we're doing, But there's a separate sketch challenge at the end where there's 5 different sketches. So if you'd like, you could use one of those sketches to help you on one of the other pages if you want. However, when you go to post it in the albums as an entry, just post it in either the challenge or the sketch. Don't post it in both places. Right, Becki?
Yep, absolutely. But
Okay.
yeah, there's not a sketch for every single challenge, but the sketches are so good. So, so good.
Okay, here's one for you, Becki.
Okay. Let's see. What exactly should we have ready for Saturday? That's a good question. And we've gotten this question a few times. And that's why we put a photo of what Jana and I are going to be using for each of our challenges. So if you go into the PDF, let me just flip to that page. So this page, for example,
Do you want
shows,
a desk shot, Becki?
yeah,
Okay, let me move you to your desk.
okay. So what you're seeing here is what Jana and I are going to be using in the Take Two Sketch Challenge on Saturday evening. So Jana's pulled, some pattern papers, letter stickers, um, a few embellishments, a couple of punches. I've got lots of pattern papers, a couple of embellishments, a set of circle punches, and some mini paper clips. So our hope is that you'll just go to your stash and pull out about, the same number. Just look and see, oh, Becki's using 5 pattern papers or whatever it might be. Circle punches, I'll need something for a title. So choose, letter stickers, chipboard, phrase stickers, whatever. Enamel dots, die cuts, paper clips. There's also at the back of the PDF how many are there, Jana? 4? Yeah,
Yes.
4 recipe cards where I go through and listed out kind of some kit recipes that you can choose. So and they just list out, you need this many pieces of pattern paper, this many pieces of cardstock, and this many embellishments or whatever it may be. So there are some tips in those recipe cards for you to help you, excuse me, I'm having a hard time getting my words out, build your stash kits to use at the event.
Yeah, and one thing Becki and I were talking as we started seeing these questions come in is the best part is we're in our rooms creating, right? So if inspiration hits and I go, oh my gosh, I want to try that, or I want to put a paper clip, I'm just going to go grab one. It's right next to me, right?
Yeah.
So if you see Becki, grab a paper clip and you think that's cute, or have some sticky notes there with you, and you can make a little note of things you want to add later. Another idea Becki and I were thinking of is, of course, we're trying to show a variety of different styles of products and techniques. But one thing you could do is you could just make one giant kit for the entire weekend, right? Maybe you go, you know what? I'm gonna tackle my Disney stuff. So I'm gonna pull out all my Disney stuff and I'm gonna print out 6 sets of photos of Disney. And I'm just gonna do Disney on every one of these challenges. And then I'm gonna apply the shape one to this one. I'm going to apply the year in review to this one. Maybe it's maybe she's talking about year in review, but you have a million pictures of Small World. So you're using that year in review idea to do Small World. So, if that helps simplify it for you, do that. Maybe just curate 1 or 2 large kits and then print off several pictures, or don't print pictures off at all. Maybe just do photo placeholders with cardstock.
Yeah, and you can definitely grab like a collection kit too. If
Yes.
if that, depending on how you store your supplies, whatever's easiest to grab for you. I know that's what would be easiest for me. If I was doing all of these challenges, I would grab, an envelope that has everything from one collection in it and just work with that.
Okay, we're going to make our way through these questions. The next one I see is this one. Is this international or only for US scrapbookers? So this is for everyone. It's a digital event. That's the beauty of it. There's not kits that are going to run out. You're using items from your stash. The one little caveat that I'll mention when you go to purchase is that some of the people outside of the country, we're taking funds through PayPal, and PayPal can be really picky about like zip codes matching up, and so just really pay attention. In fact, on the billing address square, there's this teeny tiny drop down menu that is a flag, like you can barely see it. And if you don't change that flag to your country, then it's going to go, oh, your billing details don't match that flag. You can't buy it, you know? So just, I can't see what your billing page looks like and the trouble you're having, but just go through each line and make sure that your billing address is matching up with, the little flag drop down, and you shouldn't have any problems. Now,
And
if
one thing
you're
we should mention, Jana, is if you have any issues with that, you can always email support@letsgatherandglue.com or send us a DM and we can help you work through the payment.
Yes, for sure. Now, and also I've read, as I've tried to help people, there are some credit cards, that have rules about buying outside of the country. So it could, or you have a setting on there, whatever it might be, that I can't help you with, that we can't help you with on our end. But, check those things. Check to make sure that your bank hasn't flagged it as suspicious because it's from out of the country. So that would be the only thing I would say to watch out for if you go to purchase and it stops you for some reason.
Yeah, but definitely email or let us know if you're having issues and we can help
Yes.
you.
Yes, for sure. Okay, Rachel is asking, what type of techniques are you doing?
Ooh, this is a fun one. Should we just start at the top of the schedule, Jana, and
Yeah.
go through and just briefly kind of give a little bit about each of our classes?
Yes, let me switch to that screen.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll take this comment down just so you can see it a bit better. Okay, so I start off, we have a little welcome, just a 15-minute welcome on Saturday morning, just, good morning, hi everyone, that kind of a thing. And then I'm going to start out with the Get in Shape Challenge. So in the PDF and in the content, I talk about, I think, 7 or 8 different ways to use shapes in your layouts. Some of them are more complicated than others. And so the ones that I'm showing, I'm not going to get into specifics, obviously, but the ones that I showed one in the PDF, and then I'm showing a different one on the crop live stream where we're going to use punches. So I think it's a really fun idea that I think you may not have tried before, and it's pretty simple. We're just going to be using a circle punch and then a square template. And then we're going to arrange those circles in a way that you may not have done before. So that's what I'm doing on Saturday for the Get in Shape Challenge.
And then right after Jana's Get in Shape Challenge, I'm doing a warm and cozy challenge. As I was reading the comments here at the beginning, it sounds like a lot of you are really cold. Like it's really cold in your area. It's a little bit chilly where Jana and I are, but ironically, we don't have any snow.
No.
Which is very, very weird for our area. But in my challenge, when I think of warm and cozy, the first thing that comes to my mind is a quilt. And so we're going to talk a little bit about hand stitching in my class. Now, don't let that scare you away. I know that hand stitching is not for everybody, and you can definitely do the challenge and create the project without any hand stitching. But we are going to talk a little bit about hand stitching in my warm and cozy layout. And yeah, I'm super excited. I think I think you'll like it, even if you're not a fan of hand stitching.
Yes. And usually people who try hand stitching for the first time, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. I'm addicted.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yes, and Becki gives so many great tips. I love it. Okay, the next question I saw is what time zone are the times, which I love because we're looking at the schedule. It's all Mountain Standard Time. We will be putting links for the live streams in the group on Thursday or Friday morning. And if you go to YouTube, if you click over onto YouTube, these are private links, it will adjust the time for you. You can also Google what time is it right now in Utah and see the time difference.
Yep, we are the same time zone as Salt Lake City, Denver. It's Mountain Time.
Yes, so Mountain Standard Time. Let's see. Here's another one. Question, Jana, do we need to cut out a large shape for your class? So no. So the large shape that I used in the PDF, that was just for the PDF. And then I provided you several different shapes so that you could recreate that technique over and over if you wanted with different styles of photos. But we will be doing a different technique. And I think I put a 2.5-inch circle punch. Yes, a 2.5-inch circle punch is what you'll need. And if you don't have a 2.5-inch circle punch, you can probably adjust. I think you definitely can just adjust the size of what we're going to do to make it work for you. So don't stress. Like if you're like, I don't have that size. If you have a metal die, we're going to punch out probably. Sorry, there's an airplane going over. Don't know if you can hear that. That is so loud. But so we're probably going to punch out probably 15 to 20 circles. So if you want to do it ahead of time, like if you have a metal die and that will take you some time instead of a punch, you could do that. You could trace one. You could trace a cup or a circle that's 2.5 inches. In fact, maybe I'll make you a template and pop that in the group. I'm going to write myself a note.
Okay, well, Jana's making a note. Let's move down. Okay, so after my warm and cozy challenge, then we're going to have a lunch break.
Oh, yes, sorry about that.
No, you're good. So an hour for lunch, and that gives Jana and I a little bit of time to, get lunch ourselves and kind of reset our spaces for the next group of challenges. And Jana would be up right after lunch.
Okay, sorry. Look at me getting all excited and jumping ahead. Okay, so for my wintry mix challenge, the whole idea about the wintry mix, if you've read the PDF, is that we're taking an inspiration piece and we're looking at the characteristics of that inspiration piece, and we're going to use those characteristics and interpret them into embellishments and design elements on our page. So we're not necessarily making a winter themed page, although you can. It would be really easy to do that. And so that's just up to you. So we're going to take those elements. Of course, I made one for the PDF. It was actually a camping page. It has nothing to do with winter. And I explained to you how I used those characteristics on that page. And then we're going to create a double page layout on the day of class. The theme of mine is going to be a concert. It's going to be a concert. So it's just going to be, I just picked masculine products, but we're going to apply those techniques. So honestly, you can use anything you want. I did tell you what I'm using the line. What is the line again? It's American Crafts Cedar Lane. So it's kind of a masculine looking collection. And then I pulled bare chipboard from my stash, some old basic gray and scenic root bare chipboard, and some embossing folders and some like elements in there. So you can look at that supply list and just pick whatever collection you feel inspired that may go with the photos you want to work with. But we are making a 2-page layout, and I list the sizes of the photos there. So if you want to match the sizes of the photos and create the general shape of the layout, but then you're going to have different papers or chipboard pieces or whatever you decide to mix in with yours.
I'm going to pop back to one more question, Jana, before we get too far down in the schedule.
Okay.
Melanie had a question about, do we have fibers, thread, ribbon, twine, etc. on the page for the warm and cozy challenge? Yes, you're welcome to use any of those. What I'll be using is just some coordinating embroidery floss. But if you want to use ribbon or fibers, whatever you've got, that would be awesome too. The technique I'm doing actually would be really fun with ribbon. And actually, now that you say ribbon, I'm like, oh, I could do this. Like I'm thinking of what I could be doing with ribbon too.
I love that. Okay, I'm seeing another one about get in shape. with the cut file. So I'm just going to pop to that too before we
Okay.
go to your last one. So Tisha's saying, I can't seem to find the cut files. I looked in the Facebook group under media and I don't see it. So media is for photos. Then there's a tab that says files. And files are where all the PDF and the cut files are. There are 8 different files and I've done them twice. So there's a set of Silhouette Studio files for Silhouette Studio users. And then there's the same shapes in an SVG file, so that you could use those with your brother's Scan and Cut or your Cricut or what other cutting machine you might have. So under the files, they're also in the platform at the bottom of the Get in Shape challenge page. Hi, Janet.
Okay. So I think, here's one more question, Jana, and then we'll talk about my my year in review challenge.
Okay.
So this one is, to enter the challenges, do our projects have to have photos? I'm notoriously bad about adding photos. I like the design process. I think we all do, to be honest. I love adding photos too, but no, I don't think they have to have photos, because I know some people, you might not want to share your photos, whichever, but I don't think. Jana, are you?
No, you can do
Yeah,
photo placeholders for sure.
yeah, I know photos, you don't have to have photos.
Yeah, and sometimes that's easy. That's easier when you're trying something new or you're just unsure of how the direction you want to go, where you have more freedom because you're just popping in some cardstock. And then of course later you can go, "Oh, that matches my Disney photos. I'm just going to put those right on there."
Yep, exactly. So yeah, no, photos are not required to enter the challenge, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, okay, so for my year in review challenge, we are going to be doing a double page layout, and we are going to be doing a year in review. But we're also going to talk about how you can translate kind of the same techniques into different periods of time. So the sample that I did in the book, I did a year in review for 2025. For my live class, I'll be doing photos for 2019, I believe. And we are going to use so many photos on this layout. I'm really, really excited about it.
I love that. I just love multi-photo layouts, period, Becki. Like you're the master at doing those. I'm
There's
so
so
excited.
many photos.
I love it. Okay, and then our last one is we're going to have a dinner break for an hour from 5 to 6. And then our last session together that day will be our sketches. So in the PDF download, there are 5 different sketches. Becki and I have both made a process video and a project for 2 different sketches in there. She and I will be working with the same sketch during this last challenge, and that will be sketch number 5, the last sketch. And so it'll be kind of fun to work side by side and see how Becki's layout goes, how she takes inspiration from that sketch, and how I interpret the sketch. And of course, how all of you interpret the sketch. I think that's so fun.
And how we create at the same time, because we haven't done that before. And I'm so excited
Yeah, it's going to be
for both
fun.
of us to be creating side by side.
Yeah, it'll be kind of like a real in-person crop where we can just all chat together, right? While we work.
Yes, exactly.
I love that. All right. So that's the schedule. Let's see here. I haven't seen any other questions pop up, but of course, I'm still looking. And we do have some that were asked in the group that we're going to address at the end. I think we touched on how to submit, but Becki, do you want to just revisit that in case some people are late and didn't hear that part, how to submit for the challenges?
Yep, absolutely. There are two different ways that you can submit for the challenges. The albums are already set up in the Facebook group. So if you go into the Facebook group and click on media and then albums, it will open up, and there are, what are there, 6 albums that you can add your projects to there. If you're not on Facebook, don't worry, that's not a big deal. You can still enter the challenges, and all you do is email a quick photo of your layout to support@letsgatheringglue.com, and that will enter it into the challenge. Make sure and let us know, like in the subject line or the text of the email, which challenge it is that you're entering.
Yep. And then that way, when we gather together for our winners live on Thursday, February 26th, then both the Facebook entries and the emailed entries will be entered into that prize drawing for each of the different challenges. So we have a few questions that people typed in the group, and we're still watching the chat to see if you have any other questions. We'll just go through these one by one, and if we've already answered them, then we'll skip it. But the first one, Becki, is do we get to see the projects that Jana and Becki will be making in the live workshops? And I assume they want to know if they can see them ahead of time.
That is a great question. And the answer is no, because we haven't made them yet. It was super important to us, and we really want to create with you live. So we have our products pulled, we have our pictures printed, but we have not made these projects yet. So we will share photos of them when we're done, and we will have them uploaded into the group. I believe we said by February 4th. So in fact, we talked about it. Jana and I are going to have a little nap on February 1st. After Jana and I have a nap, then we're going to photograph everything and have it uploaded into the Facebook group and on the website by February 4th. So that's when you'll get to see our layouts photographed and all complete by then.
Yeah, I'm guessing they'll want a nap on February 1st as well.
I would think so too.
All right, so the next question is, where can I find a list of tools and supplies that I need for the crop?
Ooh, that is a good question. And it is listed in the PDF. And I'm just going to flip here so I can tell you exactly what page that is on. Oops, I've got my PDF all. So on page 4 is your list of basic supplies. So like paper trimmer, scissors, adhesive, that kind of stuff is listed out on page 4. That's they're very basic general supplies that everyone will have in their creative space. We just wanted to give you an idea of what you needed at your fingertips for these challenges. And then for the specific challenges, we listed out what we're going to be using. That is not, you do not have to have exactly what we're using. If you have your basic supplies and a kit, we talked about whether we're going to have, you can have a few smaller kits or one big kit. That's what you need. But yeah, on page 4 in the PDF is where you'll find the list of supplies that you need.
Okay. And then it says, what if I can't attend the live workshops, but I still want to participate? I think we answered that question, that you can rewatch on replay. If you weren't here earlier, you can watch on replay, and then you'll have 3 weeks to enter all the challenges if you want to be entered in the random prize drawing.
Yep. Everything is recorded and will be at those links that will be in the Facebook group and on the Let's Gather and Glue website in the Creative Kickstart classroom. Is that what we call it? It's classroom, right, Jana?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and obviously the links won't work until after the session that we have. Another thing is, if you like to, a lot of people like, if they are watching on replay, they like to watch the live chat afterwards as well. Because these are hour-and-a-half long sessions, it takes a while for YouTube to spool or compute, I guess, the live chat. So if you would like to see that, you'll want to wait a little bit longer, maybe a day, the next day, for those to just populate into the live chat replay. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yep, it does take a little while for the live chat to catch up. But yeah. The recording itself for the class will be available as soon as we're done.
Okay. Oh, yay. Lisa likes the punch card, right? Yes, I made a little punch card so that you could keep track of your layouts done. I mean, that's so satisfying to me. Ka-chum, ka-chum, ka-chum.
Yes, and especially if you have, like, a cute shaped punch, like a
Yes.
little heart, little
Then you can like
star.
pin it up when you're done and just be so proud.
Yes.
All right. The next question is, how strict are you about following the challenge rules for a submitted page?
Yeah, and, we're not super strict. Our goal is for you guys to come and create with us and to learn something new, to spend time chatting, and just just scrapbook with us. We do ask that if you would please just submit what you create, either during or inspired by the crop. We would really appreciate that if you would submit just what you've been working on. And what else? Is that I think we covered everything there,
Yeah,
Jana.
and I think we mentioned before, like if you want to use a sketch for one of the other challenges, it's just enter it into one category. Don't put it into both categories.
Yep.
Okay. Next, someone asked, what theme of photos do we plan to work with? So we could talk about each of the challenges, and I mean, I mentioned like I'm going to do concert theme, so it's the theme isn't going to be specific to what we're doing. Like,
Mm,
maybe Becky's is the most themed thing with the year in review. But, honestly, you could interpret hers as a period of time, like you mentioned, or multiple photos as well.
Yep, and in the PDF, I shared several different, projects, and not all of them are a year in review themed. So
Right.
if you're kind of feeling a little bit stuck, you don't know what theme or what photos you want for there, check out the PDF, and, there's some ideas for you in there.
Yeah. And switch up your theme. So one of my favorite things to do, what I mean by that is one of my favorite things to do is to get a lot of mileage out of my supplies. So for example, if I have a baby collection, I might create a baby layout, but next time I go, you know what? These are all pastel colors. There's pastel flowers. I can use these exact same supplies to create an Easter page or a spring page. So, in fact, for my sketch layout, I pulled Summer Farmhouse from Simple Stories from like 2020, but which is a summer collection. But I'm going to be scrapbooking some Mary Poppins layouts, like photos.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't even go with the collection. I'm just using the colors and the florals from that collection.
yep. And Jana, you saying baby layout sparked something in my mind that I haven't shared yet, but it would be a baby themed layout would be perfect for a year in review and to share one photo from each month of your baby's first year.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a great one. Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
love
it
that.
definitely does not have to be like a recap of a year. There's lots of possibilities there.
Or 1 through 12, you have grades in school as well.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, next question. Will we post photos of the completed pages? I think we already answered that we would.
Yep.
And then someone asked, is there a sketch for each challenge? We answered that. There's not a sketch for each challenge, but there are sketches in there to use with the sketch challenge. Um, what shape are you using for Get in Shape? I talked about that. We're going to be using, I think they were thinking I was going to cut out one of the big pieces again, but I'm going to be using a punch, the
Yep.
2.5-inch circle punch. And then these last two questions, I think, go hand in hand. And we've kind of addressed it, but we might want to add a few more tips in. But the two questions are, any advice on how we can prep for the crop in advance, or any tips on shopping our stash?
So I just wanted to show you real quick what my prep has looked like. And I don't have all of them here, and mine will look a little bit different because I'm teaching a class. But let me move this really quick. And then, Jana, would you go to my desk?
Yeah, you bet. There you go.
So this is how I have things set up for me. So this is for the warm and cozy challenge. These are actually my samples that I'll be working with. But this is what it looks like for this sketch workshop. So I just took everything that I want to work with for the sketch put it into this little plastic. These are the plastic, I think they're 13 by 13 envelopes from scrapbook.com. And I just have one of these for each one of the challenges. So that's how I'm organizing it. But, of course, whatever works for you guys is perfect. You can work with the one large kit that we talked about. But I'm just taking it, putting all of my supplies in one spot and working from there.
Love it.
Right.
And I'll show you what I'm doing for mine as well, if you would like to see. So I have the tray system, and I'm just putting my supplies on each of those trays. I think that's by We Are Maker. So I just did that. And so these are the supplies I've pulled for the Get in Shape Challenge. I have camping photos that I've printed out, and I just picked papers that went well with my photos. So these two papers are what go well with my photos, and I'm probably going to mix them or not. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of create on the fly and pick things. So I have this paper pad from Park Lane, and then I have this Called the Wild collection by Echo Park, and they play with one another. The colors and tones work really well together. However, I don't have any embellishments for these. So I have a sticker sheet for this collection. So, but I don't have anything else. So what I did is I just went to my other camping supplies in my stash, and I have this collection by Simple Stories, Cabin Fever. It's probably from 2019. And while the papers were a bit too creamy and yellow for my photos, the embellishments aren't. They go with these other papers really well. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be using these papers, but with these embellishments and these stickers. So I just kind of pulled, some camping themed stuff, and then I'm going to play with it and find things as I go. The other thing I pulled is just because it's a camping theme, not necessarily I'm going to do a big focus on wood in the class, but I thought, well, wood veneer goes with camping, so I'll just grab my little container of that, and maybe I'll want to sprinkle in some of that for some dimensional embellishments. So I'm just kind of keeping it loose, mostly because I know I'm in my space, and and just like you are, and if I go, you know what, I need a brad, then we'll grab a brad, or I'll do it later, right? Just like when you're at an event and you don't do your journaling right then because there's so much going on, you can do that as well. You can always come back and add in, buttons or brads or any other dimensional thing that you go, you know what, I want to finish this off later. So we're just going to talk about the general concepts and get a good base skeleton for each of your pages.
Yep. So I think we've covered all of the questions, Jana, that I'm seeing. If we've missed something, for sure, please put it back in the chat. But I think.
Oh, I do see one.
Yep. Oh, I do see one too.
Kara's asking to talk about Friday night. Do you want me to do that one?
Yep.
Again?
Sure,
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
we did talk about it at the beginning of the stream, so you may want to rewatch. But we're going to do like a mini challenge, or not. It's not really a challenge where we're creating with products. We're actually talking about organization and how to make the most use of your time. Most people love to, or they have a hard time finding time to scrapbook, right? And so we thought it'd be fun to talk about tips, talk about ways you can plan, talk about ways you can set aside time for yourself, even if it's just a few minutes a day. So we're going to give you tips about that. We're just pausing to read, sorry.
Yep. Just give us 1 second.
Yeah, I'm like, not to go
You
quiet.
guys are so sweet.
I
We
know.
appreciate your kind comments so much.
Yay. Yes. And again, like I said at the beginning, you guys, this is a totally different concept for a gathering or for an event. But that's why we kind of love it, right? Is because it's different, and we're using our supplies, and we're trying to utilize the things we love. Of course, guys, I am the first one to enable you and go buy more stuff. Like I have 2 orders on my other tabs right now. I'm not
Same.
I think we can all relate to that, but we also love what we have already in our spaces. And so our goal is just to help you. Sometimes you look at things for a long time and it kind of loses the new spark, and you're like, do I still love that? Or how can I use it? Or I've passed over it 20 times. Do I keep it? Do I get rid of it? I don't know if I have an idea for it. And our goal is just to reinvigorate you, see the hidden treasures in your stash, look at it with new eyes, and even and maybe some of these techniques will be new to you. Gosh, if you're worried about ruining a nice piece of paper that you love, grab something you don't love and just play.
Yeah. And these challenges, honestly, they're just as much for Jana and I as all of you guys. We have stuff that we've had in our spaces for years that we love and we want to use, and we just want to play. We just want to have fun. We just want to create with our friends. I don't know how many times we've said that, Jana, but we just want to create with our friends.
Yes, it's been so fun for us to we've tried to show a mix of older and newer collections in the samples, but I'm pulling out paper pads that are from 2017, and you may not have that, but hopefully the the colorway and things like that are something that can inspire you, and the things that we are showing and talking about are techniques that you can apply to anything you own.
Yep, for sure.
Okay.
All right, Jana, I think we have covered everything, unless there's a few more questions in there, which we will jump back in and answer. But we have a fun giveaway.
Yes. Oh, thank you. We will got to give away a spot. So if you weren't here at the beginning, anyone who has made a comment on this stream will be entered. So we're just going to chat for a minute. So if you haven't made a comment yet and you want to be entered into the giveaway, let me put that screen up now because it's just going to start grabbing your names. So let's see here. Yes, just making sure it's grabbing them and working. So anyone, in fact, I hope this is working. I'm trying to double check, like, okay, yes, I've seen that person. Yes, I've seen that person. All right. So we want to make sure it's grabbing your names, and we're going to do a random spin, but go ahead. We'll just chit chat for a minute. We are so excited for Saturday. We've been counting down the days to this. It's like Christmas for us
It
to
is.
yes. To get together and scrapbook and pull out our supplies, see what you're going to be inspired to do. Hopefully, we inspire you to try something new, or maybe it's not a new technique to you, but you just have forgotten about it, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I want to try that again." It's been a while since I've done that. So we are really looking forward to it. Some other things you can do to prepare. I'm just going to ramble here for a second so people can keep commenting. But if you're working off an iPad, charge your devices. Right. If you need adhesive, go get some adhesive. If you need snacks, have them handy. Water, drink your favorite soda. Right. All those things that keep us revved up for the day. Of course, we'll have some breaks for lunch and dinner, but be sure to prep your space. I saw some of you talking about cleaning your space. You know what? You just need a little 2x2 square. You're good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think either one of our spaces will be perfectly clean for this, if you want to be totally honest about it.
Oh
I know
yeah.
mine is not going to be.
Oh yeah. If you saw behind the scenes, you would not feel bad at all.
Nope.
All right. I think we've done some time to let people comment. Let's go ahead and do our giveaway. Yay! Congratulations, Michelle Little. You have won a spot to the crop if you're not in it already. If you are in the crop, we'll give you a spot to the next crop. So just go ahead and email me at jana.eubank@gmail.com. Yes, I have a Let's Gather and Glue, but I have email, but I've discovered this morning it's not always, I'm getting the emails, but my replies aren't always going out. And so I'm going to actually go through all my past 2 weeks and email the people that have emailed me, because I don't think I've been getting their responses. But anyway, winner, please email me at jana.eubank@gmail.com, Michelle Little, and we'll get you set up. All right.
All right.
Okay, everyone. This has been a lot of talking. I hope we answered your questions. For sure, if we didn't, pop them in the Let's Gather and Glue group or the Creative Kickstart group, and we will do our best to see those and answer those as well. There's so many helpful people in there, and it's going to be fun.
And if you haven't signed up for our crop yet, we would love to have you guys. I just put a link in the chat. And I don't know if you've seen those memes where it's like people cheering when you order something from a small business. I can tell you that happens. Like Jana and I are texting each other, we're calling each other. So excited for each and every one of you that is joining us. We are like, I don't think we can say enough how excited we are and how grateful we are for you guys, all of your sweet comments, your love and support. It means the world to us.
It really does. We hope everyone could. We tried to make it a good price point that everyone can join in and that we can all have fun together. So thank you to everyone who, I know it's a brand new concept, a brand new thing. Thank you for your faith in us and for coming to give it a try. We're just so excited. So with that being said, anything else, Becki?
I think that's everything. We'll just mention the QR code down in the corner if you are watching this on replay and want to scan that. I was going to say, I don't know which way to point. That QR code will take you to the Let's Gather and Glue website where you can purchase the Creative Kickstart crop that is coming. Oh my gosh, so soon.
Yes, Saturday. And it's not going to be our
Tuesday.
last crop, guys. We have more fun
No.
things down the road. Of course, this has been our focus for these last few weeks to get ready for this crop, but we're going to do lots of fun things in the Let's Gather and Glue group as well. So come hang out with us there. So 2 different Facebook groups. There's Let's Gather and Glue, and then the crop specific one is the Creative Kickstart crop, which you'll get a link for when you purchase the crop.
Yep.
All right, you guys are the best. Thank you for all your kindness, and we can't wait to hang out with you Saturday. Get some rest.
Thank you so much. We'll see you Friday night and Saturday. Bye, everybody.
All right, bye.